Bachelor Nation's Piper and Brendan are dating, and sources say they're super into each other. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have got to talk about this major dating news, but before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zering, joined by the wonderful Morgan Wright. Morgan, this is kind of crazy because we've seen these two spotted out together. We've had our suspicions, but I'm surprised. I'm excited. How do you feel about this news?
Fiona, I am shocked. I remember when we saw the two of them in New York City outside of a bar late at night with their masks on, and all of a sudden I became a body language expert and said these two are totally just friends. They're not into each other at all. It's like all over their faces and whatever. And look at them now in a long distance committed relationship. So I was wrong, and I'm actually very surprised by this couple.
I know, it was pretty shocking, especially because I was with you when we saw them together. We were seeing all sorts of random, groupings of different Bachelor people popping up together in New York. It was like everyone planned a trip at once. And to hear this news now, it feels like they've kind of come a long way and kind of quickly, all things considered. I feel like we were just talking about that. Now, to be very upfront, just before we dive into any of the details, they haven't announced this publicly, right? They didn't post some dramatic couple picture on their Instagrams, but sources are starting to share details, and it does seem to be pretty legit, you guys. A source told Us Weekly, quote, Piper and Brendan have been dating for a few weeks now. He'll either fly to New York and hang with her, or she'll fly to Boston to hang with him. She was most recently there over Memorial Day, and they were spotted out in public together. Now, Morgan, so glad to be talking to you about this because you are like the expert of all experts. You guys, Morgan lives in the States and her boyfriend is in the UK. So it's not that kind of distance. It's Boston to New York. But anytime there's distance involved, it means that the connection really feels like it's worth fighting for. I mean, what do you make of this? You are the expert.
Yeah, definitely. You have to have a strong connection. You also have to have an equally strong commitment to one another and trust in the other person, which is two really huge, monumental things in a relationship. I mean, if you don't have trust, you really don't have anything. So, for them being so new to us, at least, I know you said they've been dating for a couple of weeks. I think this might be the real deal. Like maybe in the future there will be wedding bells. Not just because they're long distance, but I feel like their personalities would kind of mesh together. I feel a little disappointed in the sense that on Matt James' season, I feel like we really didn't get to see Piper's personality all that much. We got to see
Mm-hmm.
Brendan a lot more than we got to see Piper. So to a viewer, I think, okay, I know Brendan more than I know Piper. But what I saw from her on her hot seat, I feel like these two definitely would mesh together. And to be in a long distance committed relationship, I mean, it takes extra communication, extra time, extra money, and like I said, trust. So to really kind of dive into that feet first for the two of them, it's got to be pretty serious.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brendan, I am so happy for Tayshia, so happy for Zach. Definitely was rooting for them, but I loved Brendan on Tayshia's season. I'm with you. I feel like we really got to know him. A lot of fans were rooting for him, wanted to see him, happy. The way he ended things seemed really real and relatable. He really felt like, for lack of a better way of putting it, he was in it for the right reasons and he wasn't going to lead Tayshia astray. So definitely he's someone who I'm happy to see happy, and I want this to work out for the two of them. But Piper was kind of shy, kind of a closed book. I feel like we always wanted more from her, wanted more screen time. And then that exit was so intense. I remember feeling like, God, I wish I knew this girl better, which is how I think a lot of the women in Matt James' season, at least I still feel about them. So I'm with you. I hope we start to get to see more of the two of them one way or another, whether it's on their socials or something, because they could be a really good match, and they're both so unbelievably good looking. I mean, I can't even go on without saying that. They're like the most beautiful couple ever. That source did share that they are going to try and keep things private, so we may not be getting too much from them anytime soon. The source said they're keeping the relationship under wraps since they're trying to make it work long distance and it's still new. Which honestly, as selfish as I am, that makes a lot of sense and is probably, the right call. Give themselves a real shot. The source also said they're both super into each other and are getting to know each other and just having fun going on dates. So it's very exciting to see where this goes. I think they're clearly in the early stages. I get the hesitancy. If you're going to have all of America involved in every step of your new relationship, it kind of feels doomed from the get go, right? So good for them for protecting it for now. But I kind of have high hopes for these two. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling.
Yeah, and I mean, they want to keep things private. I think they've done a great job thus far. I mean, really, all we have is one picture of them outside a nightclub in New York City and this announcement that isn't really actually from them. So it's just people who have spotted them out and about. So far, they've definitely done a good job of keeping things private. I mean, we don't know. Maybe they were even dating when that picture was taken outside of that club in New York City, and they have just done such a good job at keeping a low profile. I do feel like both Brendan and Piper were on their season for the right reasons. You know, they didn't go just strictly to be an Instagram influencer and have all these followers and, you know, how that goes. So I think when you're that genuine as a person from the get-go, really the sky's the limit for these two.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Now, we could not talk about them without talking about Paradise because I have to say, these are two names that have come up a lot when people are, dreaming together their perfect list for Paradise. Even after that photo of them in New York came out, people thought, okay, maybe they met up with a bunch of people, they hit it off. How cool would it be if those two ended up on the beach? And it looks like we're just not going to be getting that, right, at this point. So my question is, are you bummed? Did you want to see them there? And do you think maybe they were invited but turned it down so they could keep pursuing, this new spark? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean when you look at it all together, if they were offered it or even I'm just going to talk about Brendan for a second because I feel like I just know him better from what we saw on both of their seasons. You know, Brendan wasn't in it, in my opinion, just to be on TV. So I could see him saying, no, I'm not going to go to Paradise because I'm now dating Piper. I met her in real life. I like her. We're going to see where this goes. I don't really need an extra 15 minutes of fame. And what did Dean
Yeah.
say? They made like $400 a day to go on Bachelor in Paradise. But I do think fans wanted to see Brendan. Obviously, anytime that you get to the final 3 or 4 in your season, you do become of a fan favorite, even if obviously fan favorites differ from person to person, but the overwhelming majority really liked Brendan and wanted Tasha to end up with Brendan. I mean, a lot of people wanted
Yeah.
Tasha to end up with him. So my initial reaction was, okay, well, I want him to be the next Bachelor. Looks like that's not going to
Okay.
happen either. And then as far as Piper being on Bachelor in Paradise as well, I have to say she was never my first pick just because it's like I've been saying, we just did not see enough from her. And it's like when you think about Matt James' season, people like Victoria and Anna and maybe even MJ are going to be on Bachelor in Paradise. And that's kind of sad thinking about it now in hindsight because it's like you do have these great girls like Brie, who we got to know a little bit more better at the end, Brie and Piper and Abigail, who just didn't get the screen time that they deserve, but you still want to see them in Paradise. So, if they're happy and they're making their relationship work off screen, not making additional money from the Bachelor franchise, I think it just shows their true colors that they're really good people and that hopefully it works out for them in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of tuning into Paradise, right, is to develop these bachelor couples from favorites of different seasons, give them a chance to maybe, connect in another way. And these two have done it off camera, which I'm so with you. I feel like gives that relationship, if it continues to progress, way stronger of a fighting chance because they're going to develop it in the real world without drama, without producers in their ears. So maybe this is the best thing possible, even for us Brendan fans who are hoping to see him again, hoping to get to know him better. This is probably a much stronger chance at a relationship. Only time will tell. I think there are a lot of people out there probably very excited about this news. We want to know if you guys are some of those people or if you're not into this. I mean, hey, maybe you just don't see these two together. Let us know down in the comments. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure you do. Make sure you ring the bell because we will be keeping you updated on all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, joined by the wonderful Morgan Wright. If you want to come say hi, check out our socials. They're on the screen right now. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.